So Tyler's exciting. He's excited. We have Nazareth native.
Well, Bethlehem, right?
Nazareth.
Okay, cool. Even better.
Yeah.
Via Fox Sports and UFC and a lot of other stuff. Megan Olivi, yay!
Hi.
Welcome. Thank you for taking a few minutes of your, like you just said before we went on, your crazy schedule. How are things out on the West Coast?
Honestly, here in Vegas, it's like a ghost town. I mean, it's fine. We're all doing our part, but it's super sad. Like the strip is closed. Like we have friends who are just riding bikes down the strip, or
that's probably weird to see.
Yeah, in front of the casinos. So this is a city that obviously like we survive on tourism. So it's been sad to see, but like life in general, there's no complaints. I mean, we have great weather here. It's easy to live here. So I think everybody's just doing their best like they are everywhere else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you work in the world of sports, so that's kind of, and you're a commentator in sports, so it's like you got to figure out what to talk about when the sports aren't happening. So
exactly.
You've had to like dig into the brain, the back areas of the brain to figure out what to talk about.
Yeah, and it's like a lot of this kind of stuff, right? Like digital interviews, and then you don't want to like keep talking about the situation because everybody's sad and it's kind of like a depressing thing, but you have to kind of address it. And so I've just been trying to make it fun. Like I was making people play Never Have I Ever over FaceTime and just like.
Did you watch it? Did you see some of the NBA players playing like 2K?
Yeah.
And that's how they're playing. It was surreal because I'm like, this is silly. And then I watched it for 45 minutes. And it was
they're playing the UFC game on Twitch.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
But I don't know anything about video games, so I can't like really help with that.
But you do know a bit about sports. So I did want to ask, right before we got on here, I was watching ESPN and they're talking about if the season were to start up again, like in the next month or so, would you be in favor of it going right into the playoffs, or should they have like 5 more games of regular season?
For NBA?
Yeah.
I mean, it's so hard because you don't want to take those opportunities away from the athletes. You know what I mean? Like somebody could go on a late season run, or somebody isn't putting in the work right now that other people are putting in the work for, but they're still going to get rewarded. It's hard. I do think, if it's up to me, like at this point, people are craving as much sports as possible. So let's have some regular season before we go into the playoffs, just in my opinion. But yeah, it's hard, and you don't want to put the athletes at risk, but you want there to be rewards for the right things. And that means, what are you doing during this downtime, as well as what did you do when you had to go to team practice or team lifting or whatever it may be.
Yeah, for sure. And like you're married to a professional athlete, so there he is right there. So you gotta, like you kind of said, you gotta be in shape, right? You can't. I think a lot of pro athletes. I know I'm not in shape right now, but I don't have to be. So, but if you would get the call in like 2 weeks, like, hey, we're playing, like there's a lot of difference between working out daily and then being ready to go, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And we see it all the time with our fighters too. Like you take a late notice fight and half of that's going to depend on, can you show up and perform on that night to the best of your abilities? And if you can't, you're going to have to say no. Well, this is very similar to that. We went from, different timelines to thinking, maybe it will be, April 1st, or now Easter, or at the end of April. Is it going to be May? And I think it gives people an ability to either like really look at that as a finish line and work as hard as they can to get there, or really look at it as like a start date, and it's just kind of like what avenue are you going to take? And that's, I'm sure it's just indicative of their personalities regardless. Like hard workers are hard workers. My husband was just in our gym at home for over an hour, like doing different rounds on our different bags that we have here and doing cardio workouts. Like, and he doesn't have anything on the books, but it is his nature to be a hard worker. Yeah. And I'm sure there are people who just don't have that and, are blessed by different things and they can just kind of show up. So I think this might be one of those times where we see a lot more, of what they're doing at home instead of just, natural God-given abilities.
Right. Yeah,
it's funny because you just described Tyler's comedy career. really.
God.
Just showing up.
I don't. What's comedy? I think that's done. I don't have to ever do that again. I don't think.
No,
That's good.
gotta keep it up.
Hey, I had
What
a
have
journalism.
you been
Oh,
doing?
wait,
Like
go ahead, I'll ask one.
you're somebody that you travel in the world, right?
Yeah.
Typically, and now you're not that Las Vegas is a bad place to be, but what are you what are you doing to keep yourself busy and occupy your time?
I actually work like a lot every day. So I've been doing that. I do interviews every single day for UFC. And then because we're on our own, like it's a lot of editing and exporting and uploading, there's a lot of stuff that comes with that. And then we are potentially having events in April. So it's also like trying to, stay ahead of those situations. But, Joe and I just try to stay physically fit. It's part of obviously his job, but it's also part of mine. I have to be on camera. So we're just trying to like stick to a routine and do the best that we can, still wake up early and, work and work out and cook dinner and, take the dog for a walk or whatever it may be, and then go to bed at a normal time. So just trying to like stay on a schedule because I don't know when life's going to resume, and I don't want to be like up till 5 a.m. and then like sleeping till 2 and like just be really weird. Like it's not me anyway. So we've just been trying to like stay as positive as we can, and also trying to help out Las Vegas and the community here and just do our part, with the platform that we have.
I saw on I follow you on Instagram, and you are keeping up to, with the people, healthcare workers all in the Las Vegas area. And that's awesome.
Thanks.
What, and I also see some of the meals that you have been making. What has been your favorite thus far?
Probably, I haven't made lasagna in years, and I was like, you know what? I'm just making a lasagna, and I made it was a big old lasagna. And Joe and I probably ate like almost the whole tray in one sitting. It was so good, and we were just so gross.
Well, yeah, you got to clear out room in the fridge, right? You can't be like, you got on the next meal, right?
But in my Italian heritage, I was taught that I always need an extra fridge and freezer. So our garage, which people would me for all the time, they'd be like, oh, cool second fridge. Now they're not making fun of me because they're both stocked.
Yeah. Well, that's what do you miss any cuisine or restaurants? I know you've been out of the Lehigh Valley for how many years?
Well, I went to college at Seton Hall in New Jersey, but then I went to Fordham. So I went right from Jersey. That's my dog. Into Manhattan. And then I moved here almost 10 years ago. So my dog can't handle life. I'm so sorry.
That's all right.
But yeah, probably like 10 years. I've been like really out of it, not in driving distance. I miss like silly things like pierogies, like good pierogies.
Okay. It makes sense.
Yeah. And because like we have pierogies, but people don't really know how to make them.
But they're not. No. It's like you need the proper butter ratio.
Exactly. I miss like random things. Oh, there's like an Italian store in New Jersey, Giacomo's, that sells the best sausage with broccoli rabe inside. I miss that. I miss some like Italian cuisines that I feel like are kind of harder to find
Calandra's?
out. Pardon?
Calandra's cheese?
I never used to get that.
Really?
I know. I
just learned that it existed like last week. I'm excited. Once this is all over, that's the first place I'm going.
It's a staple.
Yeah, no. I also miss, I grew up on My Place Pizza.
Okay, yeah.
And so there are times where I'm like, man, some My Place Pizza would be so good right now. Yeah.
So before I have to get out of here, you're a journalist. How have you seen, journalism, maybe how the ease of maybe getting in touch, or the way that we've been able to communicate as a journalist? How has that been in the last 2-3 weeks or so? And is it like exciting to see? I mean, for us, it's just crazy. We're communicating with you now. If this never happened, this wouldn't have happened. It's just like, it's just a real time.
Yeah, no, it's wild. I mean, on one hand, you're like, I can't believe we're in this position. But on the other, you find out all these like silver linings, right? All of this is, we're all learning to do new things. Like I didn't know what Zoom was 2 weeks ago. I had no idea. I mean, I know that other people use it, but I work in a company where we go to the headquarters or we travel around the world and have events. Like I don't have a need for this, but now it's become something that I have to use. And so, we're always evolving, especially in sports journalism, with their use of technology. Like I will be on the NFL sidelines and be using Twitter or game updates if I can't like hear something, or I can't see what happened. I can look or see how many yards a guy had at the end of the game, whatever it may be. So I think we're always evolving, and this is, I don't think this is going to go away. I think this is something that's now going to be implemented, long after this, it's only going to get better and better. And it's great, because if we don't have to always be on top of each other, or saying, oh, we can't do it because we're not in, the same spot. No, we can, we can figure that out, and we can do it with ease at zero risk to anybody else.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. It's always good that, we're finding silver linings, and that it's kind of comforting in crazy times, right? That you can look and find some positives that are going on.
Well, yeah, like I said before this, I almost feel guilty. It's been so wonderful. In all this craziness, we've talked to probably over 100 people, in total.
Wow.
And it's just been a blessing. So then you're wow, this never would have happened if this horrible thing didn't happen.
Yeah.
So it's kind of reconciling that.
Yeah, and I think we have to take that into the future. You know what I mean? We have to remember, okay, we can't just go back to the way it was. Let's do everything with a good purpose and a positive purpose. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, me and George, we've been doing a podcast for 2 years. We have a TV show together, but this is the most time I've ever looked into his face. I've never I didn't even every time we communicate, I'm texting or we're not really engaged. I've been more engaged with other people the last 3 weeks than I've ever been maybe in 10 years. Right. So.
Oh, speaking of, I just have to tell you, Tyler, I was having a old memory today of how, because Tyler was so cool when we were young.
I was not cool.
Yes, you were. I'm not going to blow up I'm going to tell everybody. You were so cool.
No.
And I remember, because we had mutual friends, because I lived in Lower Nazareth, and we had mutual friends. And I remember, the whole block would be yo, Tyler Rothrock and his friends are riding their bike down.
No, they did not.
Yes, I swear. I remember
I was cool adjacent. I had some cool friends because I grew up with them, and I would get to tag along with them. So
Tyler, you wore the mesh basketball shorts below your knees. Yeah.
I still have them. I got them on right now.
Right now.
He sure did. No, I remember. And they all wore basketball shorts, and then in the summer they'd maybe throw on a tank top and be yeah.
I always had a shirt on for many reasons.
Nazareth, Pennsylvania, the pinnacle of fashion.
Yes.
2000. Well, that's a great way to end this. We want to thank you for taking your time. That was awesome. This is great.
Yeah, call me anytime. I love Lehigh Valley. I miss everybody there. It's always a pleasure to talk about where I'm from. So whatever you guys need, give me a call.
We'll send you some pierogies.
Yeah. Put them in the mail. Thank you. Have a great night. Thanks.
See you guys.
Yeah.
All right.